in. They're going to make the Allies pay for their advance, and with that heavy gun they've got there, there's a real chance they could be a danger to approaching Allied armour. The Germans are going to be quite pleased about today. It's very overcast. One thing they don't have to worry about today are the Jaeger bombers, the fighter bombers. They were a real threat to the German army that's drawing. There's obviously a strong point ahead. Incoming fire. Right, this is going to be a problem for the Allies. We saw this is going to be a light tank. In the 1930s, by the stage of powers become pretty much exclusively a reconnaissance vehicle. The gun is mounted actually isn't quite as big as the gun on the Daimler, but it's armoured and tracked. It gives it real sort of cross-country capability, a very useful reconnaissance vehicle, and again, capable of dealing with entrenched riflemen. With that heavy weapon in use, the Germans at the moment have got the advantage, although the Americans have the numbers. Some of these guys from the 29th Division who came ashore at Omaha, having survived that, they don't want it to end here in this ensemble. But here we've got some heavy armour again, mixed with the British Big 482 Sherman and a British badged Chaffee. We use some of these. Now that Sherman has got the high velocity 76 on board. That gives it the advantage in terms of firepower. We've been hit, Hannover's been hit. Yeah, Hannover's hit and it's burning.
This one would have had 2 loaders in the back. CVRT, Combat Vehicle Reconnaissance Track Range. Behind Scimitar, we have Bulldog, which is an armoured personnel carrier on the FT430 range. And then behind that, the vehicle that powered the trade
General purpose machine gun on 7.62mm or other specialist roles where required.
We have a six-wheel version of this as well, sort of what's that mainly for supporting the other ones, or how's that playing out?
Yes, so that is indeed.
Museum, you see Saladin, Saracen, the idea's been around a long time, but the idea there, if that was to go over a mine, the blast is vented up the side, hence the V shape. You don't capture it underneath, which might flip a vehicle over. The biggest problem, the V shape, and you'll notice that on a lot of these protected mobility vehicles, those ones for Afghanistan, Iraq. It's a fundamental principle for a lot of armoured vehicles. Even that massive M60 tank had a boat-shaped hull underneath it, so that again rounds would, or rather mines, etc. So with the Challenger, the Kral, the recovery repair bearing, what we're looking at here is a vehicle that's able to get the Challenger 2 safe run, and you've got a winch as well, I believe.
Yes, so the Atlas crane, so the role of that is that can carry up to 6.5 tons. But its role is to recover wheeled vehicles, B vehicles as we call it within the military. Again, really impressive piece of equipment. It's got winching. With that winching capability, if it was going to winch, it uses for self-recovery. Require it.
And this is part of that MAN fleet of trucks and vehicles that the Army did a contract some years back, isn't it? I think that the thing there is that commonality with most of So on there, if you look, first tanks going into action at the Battle of Cambrai, they took a facile manoeuvre over it without having to lay a whole bridge.
And then we can also fit that with the blade earth moving attachment called the beamer that goes along.
See this in action on the wall. The section inside decusses, and it's got firepower on the top to put suppressing fire down on the enemy positions whilst that attack is going in on the ground. 30mm ROM. It sounds a bit long in the tooth. It's been in service a long time, but they're now making new ammunition for it, because this is a vehicle that will be in service a bit longer than expected.
The trials unit works with the Megatron. So with all the extra equipment on there, this has caused a weight increase of nearly 12 tonne, but from just under 63 tonne to just under 75 tonne. So because of these additions, we need to ensure that the craft is also operational entry standard, so it can tow it. Otherwise there'll be nothing.
That much longer by hiding some of the signatures it's giving out. It's also got all those other bells and whistles we mentioned earlier, isn't it? There's that third tank on the back.
Yes.
Going around, and what's amazing that the step change with ADAS, and we'll see in a moment with the enemies that we see here, what that vehicle can detect, how far away, how it can process that information and let the rest of the fleet know what's going on, is why this is such a different nature of vehicle compared to the ones we've been seeing earlier in the day. Now I'm saying all that, you've done it.
Discharges can also work with other pieces. So we've got a laser warning system, and that can work in conjunction with valves making discharges. So should that be lazy,
Their sights, it's also got detectors, sound detectors that can pick up the